Hey, you. If you're enjoying the podcast, do us a favor and go into your podcast app right now and tap the subscribe button so you never miss another episode. And if you're into reading, go to weirdtruecrime.com to get written versions of the cases we cover on the show, along with extra visual content. All the fun happens on social media, so come talk to us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at our handle @WeirdTrueCrime. And I know it's a giant pain, but it would mean the world to us if you would take 2 minutes to leave us a rating and review. We'll be sure to give you a shout out on future episodes.
Darkcast Network. The light shines brightest on our indie podcasts.
Hey, little skeletons. I'm Gina.
I'm Amber.
And this is Weird True Crime.
Have we lost our minds with the holidays yet?
Yes.
Between sick kids, Christmas parties, shopping, and all the other festivities and planning that goes with the holidays, I already feel like I'm going insane. 16-month-old and a 10-year-old sick, mom does not get a break.
No.
Mom also is not allowed to get sick. Mom has to find her happy in any way she can, or she'll continue talking in third person, and nobody needs that. Anyway, last week was a doozy, so let's have a little more fun this week. Last week? Week before? Well, we did warn that there could be a delay in new stories coming out due to all the madness. Fun. So bear with us while we board the struggle bus to get through the next couple of weeks with what's left of our sanity intact. We have a lot of cases we want to talk about that are in the works and can't wait to share it all with you. In other news, we finally put up our Christmas tree. I had mentioned before that we had to do some feng shui around the house in order to make it happen, and we did. We literally completely rearranged the entire living room just to be able to put the tree up. And we'll probably do it again in a month-ish when it's time to take the tree down. Oh, well, it's fine. It's actually kind of amazing. It's, Natasha, we call her Tiny. So when Tiny it was only a couple of months old last year, and she really didn't give a shit about what was going on. But this year, just to see her stare at the tree and the lights and just all that joy and wonder over her chubby little baby face, it's been amazing. So I'll feng shui the crap out of my house anytime to make that look on her face.
It's the things we do for our kids.
Exactly.
Just to make them smile this time of year.
We put up some other decorations, not very much. There's still bats and skulls everywhere because let's face it, I am who I am. We did put a Santa hat on Jack Skellington, though.
Where is Jack Skellington?
He's on my big bookshelf. He's like
That's
front
right.
and center.
That's right. Hey, he's already Christmassy anyway. Without it, you're just making him a little more festive.
A little more festive.
I love that. Oh, on a side note, Corbin told me the other day that apparently kids are starting to wear Santa hats and stuff at school. Just like for fun. He's like, I need a Santa hat so I can wear it at school. I was like, that's fine. I'll get you like a cheap Santa hat. So if you lose it on the playground or something, it won't matter. But
it's not going to hurt.
I thought it was cute that kids are running around with Santa hats at school.
So I have my own personal Santa hat. It's black and white.
Really?
And on the brim, it says Bah Humbug.
How did I not know about this? And do you ever actually wear it? Or do you just like put it on display?
Well, it's on my bookshelf, but yes, I will 100% wear it.
Can you please?
If Michaela doesn't steal it from me.
Oh, true. You can't have nice things when your kids get older and want to wear all of your stuff. No. Well, if you actually do get a chance to wear it, you'll have to take a selfie because I would love to see it because that sounds very you.
It is. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely. Well, we also have our Christmas decorations up, and we have an inflatable Baby Yoda, like a Grogu. We call him Baby Yoda, and
Yeah.
then like a little inflatable Santa and reindeer. And we usually put them outside, but the weather's so unpredictable, and they get all gross and dirty. So,
Porch pirates.
yeah, true. I mean, not necessarily so much here. Like, I think that, I don't know, all the neighborhood is very into the Christmas cheer.
Yeah.
So we don't really have to worry about that. But when we got out the tree and everything, the kids were busy being mischievous and took them all out of their boxes and plugged them in the house, and were like taking pictures of themselves with them and stuff. So it's like, okay, cool. We're just gonna keep these inside this year.
This
So
is
it's
happening.
loud anytime we turn on the Christmas decorations because of the sound of like the little thing like blowing them up. So you hear this like all over. It's fine,
It's fine. It's fine.
but it's super cute and it adds to the
Yeah.
festiveness in the house. So that's like our main decorations next to our tree, and then other than that, like, I have maybe bought 2 Christmas presents for them so far. And I mean, it's like we're recording this on December 12th.
Yeah.
And I'm not prepared because I
No.
just dealt with 2 birthdays. So
Yes.
it's like I don't even think about Christmas until December at this point. So I'm really behind, and that's what I'm doing today is buying Christmas presents, because I get everything on Amazon, and some of them, aren't going to get here until
A couple of days
Christmas Eve.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Really?
Oh yeah.
And you're usually so like ahead of the game too.
I'm usually done by like July,
Yeah.
and this year's just nope. It's fine. It's fine.
It'll get done.
It's fine.
I know. That's how I feel. And my husband is impossible to shop for. And he usually doesn't like the gifts I get him. So I'm like, can you just tell me exactly what you want? And I'll wrap it and you can open it.
That's what my
Okay.
husband says about me. I am not hard to shop for.
No.
Literally. Any combination of black, skull, bats, you're good.
Like, what's the problem? I don't.
So hard about that.
Oh, you need like you need the ghost face slippers and like a robe
I
or
need a ghost face throw blanket badly.
yes. See? Anything Scream related or goth, you're good to go.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's
Simple.
It's very
It's very
easy.
easy.
Does he not know you at all? Y'all have only known each other since you were
16.
yeah.
Yeah. You'd think.
You would think. I don't know. I'm very easy to buy for. Corey always has ideas, but like
Yeah.
him, I don't need anything. Okay. Or he just gets whatever it is that he's wants anyway.
He
So,
already gets what he wants, and so there's nothing left over that he
No.
actually wants. Yeah.
no. I'm kind of like, I'm a little bah humbug this year. I think it's just the stress of life is a lot right now. And I'm like, okay, let's just get through it. And
Normally, like, I love Christmas. Halloween's always my favorite, or going to be my favorite for
of
like
course,
whatever. But Christmas, I love it because there's such a different atmosphere with everybody. But yeah, there's just something this year. I love-hate relationship, everybody getting sick, and
Mhm.
the just constant responsibilities and obligations, and got to do this, got to do that. I just want to sit on my ass and play video games, man. Like, can I have that for Christmas? Is that okay? Can we
I
do
know.
that?
I mean, we literally bitch at each other, but not like at each other, but like we vent about how we haven't been able to play a video game in a couple days. It's like, I just want to sit and vent
just
out
wanna
and like play a game for a little while without anybody needing anything from
Leave me alone.
By the way, I don't know if we have actually mentioned that, but like we're both pretty big gamers. So
Okay. little bit.
Yeah, that's our other love. Lots of different kinds. You play a more variety of games than I do, but
Yeah.
I've been branching out. So
I'm proud of you.
I know. Thank you.
Good job.
I did play some Oxygen Not Included yesterday, and I killed all of my dupes within like the first 2 cycles because I was having them dig. This is totally off topic, but we're keeping it. So, because I was having them dig out and they got stuck. So like they got stuck on this
Oh no.
yeah, and they had no oxygen. And so I'm trying to get the other dupe to build them like a walkway, and they died like 2 seconds before they got the walkway done. So they could, I was like, fuck this. I just like, fuck it, I'm starting over. I love that game, but I'm not good at it. But I've logged like 300 hours in it.
Nice. I thought I didn't own it. And then I remembered for like Black Friday sales and stuff, I snagged it for like half off. So it's just sitting on my computer, waiting, beckoning, calling me to play. But that is an alley I'm not sure I'm ready to go down because I'm gonna get beaten the hell up and mugged, and I won't stop playing for probably 3 days. So
no, you don't. And it sucks because it's like I'll be on such a good roll with it, and then one thing will happen and everything falls apart, and then I'm like, fuck it, I'm starting over. So I've never made it. I think the furthest I've made it is maybe like 150 cycles, and then I have to start over. And I'm just like, why do I suck at, I'm like, I'm not an engineer. I feel like I need an engineer's brain to play that game or something. And I'm just.
That's funny. Do you know how I got hooked into that game?
Huh.
Markiplier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We are Markiplier stands in this house now.
I'm so proud.
We are. Like, we all love him.
Because he's Marky Moo.
Yeah. No,
I mean, he's got an engineering brain, so he's hilarious when he plays that game. It is the sole reason why I've played it before, like on that dinosaur. I think that thing is a relic. I think it's going to have to go into a museum somewhere, but it actually played it a little bit.
That new gaming computer will play it really well.
It's so pretty. It's my friend. I haven't named him. I think I'm going to name him. I need to name him.
You name your, oh my gosh. I didn't know that.
I name all the inanimate objects that I have a romantic relationship with. If I spend more time with something than I do my own husband, let's face it.
That is the romantic relationship. Yes.
Anyway, we went this direction. We needed to go that way about 5 miles.
You know what? So. We haven't gotten to sit down to do this for a while. And so there's like a lot of pent up excitement. Yes. And
normally we get this out before we start recording.
Not today. So you're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. God. Just a little glimpse into our true personalities.
The chaos of our,
Yeah. But back on topic. Like Amber mentioned, we have a lot of big cases lined up, and we are trying to be very thorough in our research of those cases. So we are going to pull it back for a minute and do something a little more fun and do a list of the weirdest / funniest / most messed up Christmas crimes, since it is the season. And this will not be our only Christmas themed episode of the month. This is just the first.
Yeah.
So with that, let's get into them, shall we?
Our first story is going to take us back to November of 2011 to the town of Vandalia, Ohio, just north of Dayton. I really hope I didn't butcher that. I apologize if I did.
Sounded good to me.
To the home of Tamara Henderson and her 11-year-old son. While she was visiting over at a neighbor's house, her son had come home from a Pee Wee football game to find 44-year-old Trent Terry sitting on their living room couch, watching TV very loudly, and playing with the young boy's things. Tamara received a call from her son who said that there was a man in their house. I don't even know what would have gone through my mind if my child called me and said there was a strange man in our house.
I would have lost my shit.
What do you mean a man is in our house? You don't know if he has a gun or a knife? She had exclaimed. Tamara screamed, called for her neighbors, and called 911 to report the intruder. Terry had allegedly entered their home through the back door, where he proceeded to light some candles, like on the kitchen table and the coffee table. He put up some other Christmas decorations and cranked up the TV. Some reports even say that he had hung up a Christmas wreath on the back garage door.
Oh God.
According to Tamara, Terry had said to her son, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I'll get my things and go."
Wow, what a polite intruder.
Polite intruder, exactly. Police arrived on the scene and were able to apprehend him without incident. It was later discovered that he was high on bath salts and that he had also been armed with a pocket knife. A coworker of Terry had described him as a very caring person involved with the Boy Scouts and a local church program to help convicted felons currently in prison. But he hadn't been acting well that day and seemed mentally unstable. Police say that the men were painting a house nearby when Terry became upset and left. It was about an hour later that he was discovered by the 11-year-old boy in their home. Terry was charged with burglary and allegedly had a history of drug charges. So it's a little sad. There's some underlying issues going on there, but you know what? If I'm going to come home to find there's a strange man in my house, I would prefer that they have, gotten into the cheery holiday spirit and hung up some Christmas decorations so I didn't have to. Instead of,
Definitely.
I don't know, like walking out the front door with my television and breaking shit on his way out. So,
Or, taking my child. I mean,
that, yeah.
it's sad and a little funny, but it does sound like he had been trying to get his life on the right track and maybe had just been going through a little bit of a hard time. So I hope wherever he is, he's good now.
Yep.
But I mean, that's definitely a story to tell at parties as an adult.
Yep.
There was this time when I was a kid and this guy high on bath salts broke into our house and decorated for Christmas. It's
right.
It's a good two truths and a lie, if anything, So he's got that going for him.
Our next story is a little less wholesome, but deserves a spot on this list as well. So I don't know about you, but when I hear that someone was stabbed, I immediately think knife or hell, even sword, maybe even ice pick,
You think sword? Is this the medieval times? Like, anyway.
It's a little insight on where my brain goes.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, a sword, but like shitty, just
yeah.
Stabby.
Something stabby, yes.
Definitely not a ceramic squirrel.
What?
Apparently, to 44-year-old Helen Ann Williams of North Charleston, South Carolina, it was the perfect weapon to vent her frustration out on her husband while he was making a sandwich in the kitchen late on Christmas Eve in 2013. She had sent her husband out to the store to go pick up some beer, but due to the holiday and the late hour, the stores were closed, so he had to come home empty-handed.
Uh-oh.
Enraged at the lack of alcohol, Helen grabbed the ceramic squirrel, hit him over the head with it, and then stabbed him in the chest with a ceramic squirrel. Yeah, ow. Thankfully, her husband was able to escape over to a neighbor's house where he was able to call 911 and get help. When the police arrived just after midnight to the house, they found him covered in blood with cuts on his shoulders and face. And then when he removed his shirt, they found a large gash on the left side of his chest.
Oh, geez.
At first, Helen tried to tell the police that her husband had fallen. But because she had blood on her hands and her shirt, they were a little skeptical, She then tried to say that it wasn't her husband's blood and that it was already there.
That doesn't make it better.
He was taken to the hospital and treated for his injuries. Thankfully, he was okay. Helen Ann Williams was arrested and charged with criminal domestic violence of a high and aggravated nature. She was literally caught red-handed and tried to lie her way out of that. I have no words sometimes.
I really hope they're not still married. I mean, that doesn't sound like a safe situation.
Or Hopefully he got rid of all the ceramic squirrels in the house.
And maybe she went to AA.
Maybe.
Maybe. Oh
No
my
more, no more
gosh.
alcohol for her.
I want to know what the ceramic squirrel looked like.
I do too, because I mean, the only thing that I could think of is like he had a really pointy snoot, maybe.
Or
And
did she
that's
like break it like you would
or
at a bar fight with a bottle? Like did she like hit it on the counter and get like a sharp piece and like
maybe when she hit him over the head with it, it broke,
maybe and then she stabbed him with it?
and then she went stabby with it.
Oh,
I don't know.
the holidays, man.
Woohoo!
That's a hard time. This next story made me laugh out loud when I read it. Like literally laugh out loud here, like just sitting in this room.
I figured you were gonna like that one.
Oh my God. So on December 14th of 2001 in Portland, Oregon, police responded to a report of a man assaulting customers inside of a Toys R Us. So many toys to choose from in that store to wreak some havoc on shoppers in a toy store. But this particular man decided that he was going to go all Darth Vader and start swinging around a toy lightsaber at the shoppers, assaulting 3 different customers in the process. I mean, it might be a toy, but it is a weapon. So he's not totally off base. When the police arrived on the scene, they found the man in the parking lot swinging the lightsaber around and yelling incoherently. One officer attempted to calm him down, but he just continued shouting and swinging. Sure, it's a toy lightsaber, but being smacked with one of those swung by a man at full force isn't something I want to experience, and I'm sure the police officers didn't either. And I can say, even being hit by one of those by a child is not fun because it has happened to me on multiple occasions, having 2 boys and lightsabers in the house.
I'm not surprised you're familiar with that.
No, not at all, which is why I thought this was so funny because it was like, yeah, I get it. At one point, they attempted to use a taser to take him down, which you can't do to kids, I just want to say. But he managed to use the light. But he managed to use the lightsaber to swat the wire away, which is smart. Eventually, the cops wrestled him to the ground and were able to take him into custody. He was treated for injuries and taken to a hospital for a mental evaluation. 33-year-old David Canterbury was placed on a police hold at the hospital and given citations for 3 counts of 4th-degree assault, 1 count of 3rd-degree theft, and 1 count of resisting arrest, and 1 count of interfering with a police officer. That's a lot. I'm sure that was a sight to behold to all of those who were out shopping that night. I really wish I could have seen it.
I just have it like whenever I was reading about this and typing all that up, I just had in my mind the entire time. You know how like little boys, when they get lightsabers, they just sit there and they go, wee.
Yes.
I just pictured this grown-ass man swinging it around. That's how he swatted away the taser fire.
You know what? Maybe he was having a hard day. Maybe it was a long, bad day at work. Mm-hmm. And he just needed to swing around a lightsaber. Okay? Let the man swing the lights. Just move out of the way.
Mind your business.
Let him have some fun. He's just there to play. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, that one got me so good.
The visual is the...
Yeah. I know. Was he making sounds too? Or was it one of those that like lights up and makes sounds when you swing it?
I really hope it was one that made the like actual movie sound effects as he's swinging it around. What is it with the holidays that turns people so stabby?
I don't know.
In December of 2011, Ruth Wagner, 55, of Southington, Connecticut, was browsing a craft fair doing some holiday shopping. It's reasonable. Craft fairs are great places to find Christmas presents.
Absolutely.
If I enjoyed leaving my house, I would probably love to go to one.
If people didn't suck so much, that would be a great place to go.
According to a statement by Sergeant Lowell De Palma, Wagner had been seen hanging around a jewelry booth, and the woman who owned the booth suspected her of swiping a piece of jewelry that was missing. When Wagner came back around to the area, as you do, you make a few passes just looking and looking.
Mhm.
The booth vendor watched her steal a seashell ornament and decided to confront her. After being confronted, Wagner attempted to flee. When the woman yelled, "Stop her!" another vendor stepped in front of Wagner to block her path, and Wagner became stabby and stabbed the woman in the arm with a seashell ornament.
Oh my God.
Ceramic squirrel, now we're on to a seashell ornament.
God.
After the stabbing, Wagner was able to escape in her red car, but thankfully witnesses were able to obtain her license plate, making it easy for the police to track her down. I definitely don't blame anyone else for not trying to stop her. No telling what else she had stolen that she could have used as a weapon.
Yeah, definitely.
Thankfully, the victim's injuries were not life-threatening. They were still pretty serious. Like
Yikes.
I think one of the reports said she even had piece of the ornament still sticking in her arm.
Oh my
So
gosh.
not good.
No.
She was taken to the hospital to be treated. At the end of this all, Wagner had stolen a whopping $91 worth of jewelry, Christmas decorations, and other items from various vendors at the fair. She was booked on charges of first-degree robbery, second-degree assault, first-degree reckless endangerment, second-degree breach of peace, and sixth-degree larceny.
That's a lot of charges for $91 worth of like homemade stuff at a craft fair.
And also the stabbing and the running and the...
What is wrong with people? Like, just buy the stuff. People worked hard to make them. And they probably spent money to put a booth up at the fair. And you're just gonna steal their stuff?
9 times out of 10, people at those booths don't even make back what they put in to making everything. We know this. We've done this before.
Yeah, we've known it. We know this from experience. Okay, so the next one is not stabby, but it's still quite a tale. So we know the holidays can be a hard, stressful time, as we were talking about in the opening, and it's not uncommon to drink an extra beer or a glass of wine to take the edge off during this time of year for those of us who drink on occasion. But, maybe don't go too hard on the alcohol and then drive a Christmas float like David Allen Rogers did.
Oh boy.
Slim. In December of 2006, Rogers was driving a truck and pulling the float for the Steppin' Out Dance Studio when he decided to gun it and pass a tractor in the parade. I guess maybe he thought the tractor was going too slow, but I mean, you go like 5 miles an hour in parades. Everyone is going very slowly.
Yes, snail's pace.
Snail's pace. He continued to speed down Main Street and run a red light while towing the float and 18 people on board, including his own son.
Oh dear.
Yeah. A police chase ensued for 3 more miles, and when officers finally stopped him, he tried to fight them.
Oh gosh.
They found an open container in his vehicle. He faced more than 36 charges, including DUI, assaulting an officer, and 18 counts of kidnapping. Was it worth it?
Is beer worth it? I mean, someone got stabbed by a squirrel, and now we've got
homeboy kidnapping 18 people with an open container in his truck when he's supposed to be driving the float for his child's Christmas parade.
Priorities.
That is some class right there. That poor kid. Like, how traumatizing and embarrassing.
I don't know that I would participate in another parade float after that.
No.
Like, nope. I'm out.
Or have much to do with my father after that. I'm curious to know, like, what kind of jail time he got for that, because kidnapping can't be a small
No.
Dang. And he only kidnapped them for like 3 miles. But
Still.
I don't think it's based on like distance.
No.
You know?
I think it's the fact that it happened.
Yeah, anything over 5 miles is more time. I don't know, but that's messed up. Like, don't drink and drive floats, people. Like,
don't drink and drive. Period.
No.
PSA.
PSA. Don't drink and drive. You're welcome for that. If you didn't know that already,
you didn't already get that hammered into your head repeatedly.
I know. So this next one, we've all received a Christmas gift we didn't like. Like I said, I tend to give my husband gifts he never likes, but we grit our teeth and smile and say thank you because we don't want to be dicks about it. And in our head, we're like, why did this person think I wanted that? You know?
Okay, thanks. Great. That's great. Appreciate it so much. Yeah.
I know. Thanks. It's great. I love it. Well, that's not how Heath Blom of Portsmouth, New Hampshire handled his disappointment when he didn't get what he wanted for Christmas in 2009. His girlfriend, Randy Young, gave him a Wii game system, but what he really wanted was a remote control airplane. I'm sorry. If somebody gave me a Wii game system, I would not be complaining. Wasn't this like the height of when Wiis were like really big too?
I want to say so.
Or like around that time?
Around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would have been real happy.
I would have been pumped. And that probably cost way more than a remote control airplane. Well, he didn't want to grin and bear it, and the couple started arguing because he was unhappy about his gift. His girlfriend decided she'd had enough of his bullshit and turned around to leave when Blom grabbed her by the hair. In response, she turned around and hit him, which is understandable. Police were called, and they were accused of assaulting each other. In court, Randy Young asked for the charges to be dropped, and they had just had a bad Christmas. But the judge wasn't buying it and held up their no contact order. Honestly, it's probably best if they don't spend any more Christmases together.
I think so. I think it's probably for the best.
Yeah. You don't need to get into a fist fight because you don't like your present.
I mean, what if she had gotten him, like, now if they were still together, what if she got him like a PlayStation 5 and he really wanted, like, I don't know, one of those flying drones? Would he have stabbed her with a squirrel?
Maybe. Or like I was going to say like the PS5 remote, but that has nothing stabby on it.
No.
But it would hurt real bad if you hit somebody.
It's not going to feel good.
But like, come on, like, be a little more grateful.
Gracious.
Let's just get over yourselves. Also, I hope they're not together anymore either, so.
Or if they are, let's pray that they've gotten better at buying gifts.
This next one is historical and honestly pretty gruesome and sad, but it still deserves a spot on this list. On Christmas Eve in 1913, miners on strike and their families gathered on the second floor of the Calumet Italian Hall in Michigan for a holiday party hosted by the Western Federation of Miners Ladies Auxiliary, the women's group within the mining organization. That's quite a mouthful.
That's a mouthful.
Whew, okay. So the only visible way to or from the second floor was a steep, narrow staircase because old buildings. Because old. And there was a poorly marked fire escape with ladders down the side of the building, but occupants would have to go through a window to get to it. So it was really hard to see, and nobody really knew it was there. It was not marked. Over 400 people were in the room enjoying the holiday festivities when someone yelled fire. In a panic, all attendees rushed the narrow stairs in an attempt to escape. In the rush, 14 adults and 59 children were killed while trying to get out of the building.
Oof.
59 children. Fire marshals and investigators never found any trace of fire at the scene. It is still unknown who yelled fire or why, Many of the minors didn't speak English, and interpreters were not provided during questioning. Several witnesses, however, did say that the man who yelled was wearing a button on his coat for Citizens Alliance, an organization that opposed trade unions and strikes. So it sounds like there may have been a plant in there to start some drama at this Christmas event.
Some havoc.
But it's so sad that so many children lost their lives because of pettiness. Yep. When all these people were just trying to enjoy their Christmas. So bring the mood down a little bit, but It's a pretty messed up Christmas crime, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, that's definitely up there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure we're all guilty of doing something similar to this next one when we were kids. I remember I was so curious about a specific present under the Christmas tree that I literally scratched the tiniest hole in the wrapping paper. And to my absolute shock and surprise, I still couldn't figure out what the hell it was. Well, in Rock Hill, South Carolina, back in 2006, 12-year-old Brandon Jones absolutely couldn't wait any longer to open up his gift without permission.
Uh-oh.
His mother, Brandy, found the box empty and unwrapped under the tree. And when she asked him about the present, Brandon apparently lied and said he didn't know what it was. Brandy was fed up. His grandmother had even told him repeatedly not to open it. He clearly didn't heed her warning. After the lie, Brandy threatened to call the police, and Brandon returned the toy, a Game Boy Advance. She called the police anyway. The police showed up, and Brandon fessed up. He was charged with petty larceny, and his mother insisted on the police taking him away. According to Brandon, the police put handcuffs on him and put him in the back of the police car and took him to the station, where he sat for 4 hours until his mother picked him up after church. She said she was hoping that he would be scared enough to apologize and straighten up. Brandy said that the troubles with Brandon had started in kindergarten, where he stole from his teacher's desk, and by the 3rd grade, suspensions and parent conferences were common. After this experience, Brandon says he wants to change, or he wanted to change, and that he had planned on changing his attitude and working on his behavior because he knows his mom wants the best for him. The Game Boy, however, was not destined to be his, as his mother said she was going to give it to someone else.
Damn, I don't think I blame her for any of those actions, especially knowing his history, because
that he already had issues. Yes.
Yeah. I also like that he did not get the Game Boy.
Scare him with going to jail, having to sit there dealing with all of that. Sitting in the back of the police car with the handcuffs is definitely something he's not going to forget. But I mean, if he would have gotten home, and then been like, okay, honey, you can have the Game Boy.
Like, he hasn't learned anything.
She's like, no, screw you, you little shit. Somebody else is going to get it that'll appreciate it.
Yeah, it reminds me of Scared Straight,
Yes, that's what I thought of too. Yep.
Yeah. So I hope he learned his lesson and cleaned up his act, because he's a full-ass adult now. Okay,
let's head all the way up north to Canada for this next one.
Okay.
The Canada Post has a lovely program that makes sure your letters get to Santa. Write a letter to Santa at the North Pole, and if you include a return address in your letter, Santa will send you a letter back. By 2007, over 15 million letters had been written, resulting in a Guinness Book of World Records accreditation for the most letters to Santa ever received and responded to. Well, Christmas of 2007 was not all holly jolly in the letter writing department. At least 10 unfortunate children received their letter responses from Santa that were less than desirable. The letters included foul language and inappropriate messages like, quote, "This letter is too long, you dumb shit," end quote, as well as, quote, "Your mom sucks dick and your dad is gay," end quote. Holy hell, I would not have liked to try to explain that one to little Timmy or Tommy.
No, not even a little bit.
Oof, okay. Canada Post worked quickly to identify the unruly elves who sent out the nasty Santa letters to the Ottawa area children. It turns out the culprits were minors, not children of the postal employees. Since this incident, several security measures were taken to ensure history wouldn't repeat itself, and the letter writing continues today.
Well, I'm glad that they figured it out and they've enhanced their security so kids can still like enjoy.
Can you imagine your kid coming up to you, Mom, I think Santa's mad at me. And like, you get, this letter is too long, you dumb shit. Like,
whoa, I would never look at Santa the same way.
Oh no.
If I got a letter like that.
I'd have to write a less than desirable letter to Santa myself.
I know.
I think that's how the Post found out about it quickly, is because the parents were like, and so they sent out a statement like, proofread your Santa letters before you give it to your kids. We had to shut it down for a couple of days while they investigated it. But yeah, kids, I mean, the older kids, obviously, they were able to coherently write and form whatever. So still minors, but older kids, they just, they got their jollies off.
They were probably bored teenagers that thought it would be fun to like prank some kids, you know? But hopefully most of these, like the parents saw before they got to their kids.
Like I said, after the first few responses of the kids, the Post said, proofread, don't let your kids read it before you do, because this stuff is happening. So,
oh my God.
I would have been appalled, but let's be honest, afterwards I would have been laughing my ass off in the back room or something. I'm gonna be honest. I would have.
It's pretty funny. Be like, I can't believe Santa said that to you.
How rude. One of the elves really was just having a bad day and decided to take it out on you. I'm so sorry. And then I'm just giggling my ass off in the back.
The elves manager had been like extra harsh that day.
Oy vey.
Oh my God. So last but not least, most parents may be able to relate to this one, especially if you have older kids. Pets of many kinds are added to Christmas lists, and that's exactly what happened when Donald Legis Jr.'s son wanted snakes for Christmas in 2012. Most parents willing to bring a new pet into the home would purchase the pet and accessories and figure out how to hide it until Christmas morning, which we have done with a hamster in years past. Said hamster was not with us for more than 6 months when it decided to take a dive from the top of its cage. But, they're
not the brightest little.
No, not smart little creatures. Well, Donald Legis decided to acquire snakes for his son by breaking into a pet store in Slidell, Louisiana, and stealing a ball python, 2 boa snakes, and $600 from the cash register. When the owner noticed pry marks on the back door the next morning, he rightfully informed police. Upon investigation, police found pry marks on the doors of several other nearby businesses. They eventually found a vacant building with a makeshift bed on the floor, the 3 snakes, and a jail ID card in Legis' name. When asked why he stole the snakes, he said his son wanted snakes for Christmas. Needless to say, Legis was arrested, and who knows if he really even had a son who wanted a snake for Christmas in the first place.
How big? Boas are big, right? I mean, unless they're babies. So, where was he trying to hide?
How do you hide a snake? He obviously didn't have a setup for them, or food, or any of the required necessities, and he's keeping them on the floor in a vacant building. Like next door.
Many questions. Many questions.
Does he just really like snakes? I mean, what?
Hey, I'm the snake lady here, but you're not gonna see me going around stealing a ball python and 2 boas, like.
And $600. Maybe he was gonna sell them to try to get cash for them or something.
Maybe.
And his way to try to get out of it was to say that his son wanted snakes for Christmas.
His son.
But like, you're still gonna get arrested. You still stole the snakes and broke into a place of business. I don't know. People be crazy around the holidays. Like, it's supposed to be a time of joy and good cheer, y'all. Like, Don't be stabbing people with squirrels and yelling fire in crowded rooms or swinging lightsabers around at people at toy stores. Call a therapist, take a nap, watch some Netflix. Yeah, a nice bubble bath.
Take a page out of Trent Terry's book. Light some candles, turn on the TV up loud, kick back and relax. But
In your
just
own
do it in your own house.
In your own house.
Let's preface your own house. But he had the right idea.
He had most of it, right?
Yeah. Just location.
This was so fun. It was a much needed break from the very heavy things that we've been researching lately. So I'm glad we decided to take a step back and do this. And like we said, this is not the end of our Christmas content. Our next one is a doozy. So, and like very much more true crime, like a real true crime case. So
back into the heavy.
Yeah. So grab some eggnog or spiked cider or hot chocolate, whatever you like during this time of year, and cozy on up because, you know, you're going to need something. Yeah, just a fair warning. And thank you for all of your patience and continued support while we handle our crazy lives and the never-ending sicknesses that have been plaguing our houses. And this podcast is truly a respite for both of us, and we love it so much and have so much fun creating content for you lovely little skeletons. And for all of you, this is kind of something that we had talked about off mic, but those of you who've seen our logo, you know we have our lovely little big-headed skeleton that we have lovingly named Billy the Skelly. So yes. So we have dubbed all of you our little skellies or skeletons. So you're probably going to be hearing that more often. And I really want to create some content that has Billy all over it. Yeah.
Fully support that idea.
Yeah. So I'm sure that's going to be coming up in the not so near future. So thank you for being our little skeletons and listening to us and putting up with our not so normal schedule while we work through our crazies. But until next time, stay safe.
Make good choices.
Bye.
Bye.